where are you with racism? Just out of curiosity.
Where am I with racism?
Yeah. How do you how do you feel about it? What's been your arc with racism?
My arc was didn't really think too much about it growing up. Again, very diverse.
Because you grew up, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we would talk about it and joke about it and, make fun of each other's races and stuff like that. But it was all just friendly, just friends,
Yeah.
And then got to college, UCLA, found, this kind of community. Learned a lot about Asian American history, other histories, and got a lot more, I guess, angry, and driven, motivated by wanting to do my part.
Avenge.
Maybe a little bit of that,
but I think that's natural.
Yeah.
Like fuck you.
Yeah. And then going into
watch me act.
Yeah. And then going into this industry, still carrying that a little bit and wanting to, be a part of some kind of change, but then also wanting to just work,
and wanting it to be irrelevant,
and finding that often butting heads, and also learning, especially pursuing something like this is being overly conscious of racism. Sometimes it's an anchor, it kind of holds you down, if you're always thinking about that, you want to be free and you want to be creative and you want to, and all that stuff was a part of me, so that there was always going to be a little bit of an anger and a little bit of a wanting to help change things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not holding on to it so much that it becomes everything.
And taking jobs based on representation, how to look and
and really kind of more just like kind of being in tune to myself and what's right and wrong to me, as opposed to what might be wrong to or right to the community or to and feeling like, oh well, my internal barometer is the community plays a part in that, but then also all these other life experiences play a part in that, and just kind of navigating things through that experience,
There is, the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't know. I understand it. I understand like they are different. Even the history of Asia is smaller colonialism. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think people are just kind of greedy. And are looking for any reason to justify their own selfishness.
Yeah.
And so it becomes like, even I just am like, I don't know how if a country's I don't know what the number is, 55% white or whatever, and then 15% black and 15%. Like, I don't know how this is the most successful version of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, America, as racist as America is, we're doing better than everyone. And kind of the only country that's even trying sees it as a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we should try to not do this.
Yes.
Like, are we going to put all of our efforts to it? Absolutely not. But we're like, understand
and
that
we're conscious of it.
Yes.
And that's crazy. Because I think when I first started in the industry, the industry wasn't even conscious of it, really. I mean, a little bit, but
there was like
hardly.
The scene and Do the Right Thing.
Chip, I got good price for you. Catch it. How I'm doing?
Of was Steve Park? What's his name?
Oh yeah.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
And then he was on In Living Color a little bit.
That's right.
Knockout poison. You see, I told you, you get good night's sleep one way or another with a ninja security system.
But we used to do awful Asian shows about like
the Asian delegation chooses the RZA, the Jizza, the God, Inspector Deck, Ghostface Killer, the Wu-Tang Clan.
It was just
totally
like, and it was silly. We thought it was silly, and it was spiritually silly.
Yeah, and a lot of us, I wasn't doing it at that time, but we were auditioning for it because we wanted to work, you know? And you know, and then later we became more critical, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think things have changed and we've made so much progress.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for that progress.
We finished.
You know?
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We solved it.
Yeah,
you know?
no, but in some ways, the fact that we're even approaching it, I think, is admirable as a country. But of course, no one who's in the marginalized group can ever say that.
Yeah.
Because then they're a bitch ass sellout.
Well,
if you go like, this is pretty. I mean, again, it's not great, but it's better than every other country.
Yeah, and you know, I think for me, you know, like I told you, like my upbringing was so diverse and so idyllic in a way, and I think that's my natural state, is to have friends of all different. You know,
here's another thing. It's fun to make fun of other people's races.
Totally.
It's funny and fun.
Yeah, and it's
it doesn't mean I don't want you to vote.
Yeah,
it just means I noticed that you do something differently, and I'm gonna shit on it now.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's where I want to be.
Yeah,
you know, and it goes back to keeping things small and keeping things kind of very village oriented. And so when I do get kind of bogged down over, again, I always have to check myself, you know, when I get bogged down over the industry's racism, it's like, okay, but let's.
Do you ever get to market? Do you ever get like, well, we're only 5% of the population. How much catering is smart to do to one racial group?
Wait, what do you mean?
Meaning, if I'm a studio, right, and if it's like you go, well, why can't we make more Crazy Rich Asians and Shang-Chi and all the stuff? If I'm a studio, I personally can understand their aversion to, because they don't even want white people. They want people in superhero uniforms.
Yeah.
Let's take fucking white people out of it. And then if they do make white movies, it's because it's a country with. So I'm like, and then they've realized like, oh no, there's a shitload of people in Asia.
Yeah.
So it's all these marketing decisions, and I understand.
I mean, ultimately it's a business. This whole thing is a business, and I'm very conscious of that. And
if squirrels could buy movie tickets, most movies would be about squirrels.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the bottom line. So it's like the more people in Asia that get Netflix subscriptions.
Yeah, and if you have a show with, say, an Asian American family, and you know, if every Asian person in America is watching it, it would probably be a hit. But not even every Asian person in America is watching it. People in Asia probably aren't watching it, so that show doesn't make it. You know, and that show ends. And you know, you could say, oh, this industry's racist, but you kind of also
it's like they tried
to watch it.
Yeah, they tried it. They put it out,
and that's where you kind of want to be, right? You want to be able to fail and be able to make another thing, you know, and not have that one failure be, okay, these people don't work on screen, you know. Like,
well, what's funny is, that pressure must be a pain. That pressure of like, you have to select things with an upside so that, because if you fail and
it's that and I think we've been kind of trained to think like that, you know, like everything that comes out, if it doesn't connect, it's kind of like, oh, what's this going to mean for the community, you know? Yeah, and that's real, but
you kind of have to ignore it.
You can't think of that, and you can't make your moves with that in mind, because your moves have to come from a pure place, you know, like not just like, oh, we're going to make an Asian American hit so that we could keep making stuff, you know? Like, then
it's just K-pop.
Which you know is great and has its place, but
it's not like it's not artistically enriching for the most. I mean, again, if you're young, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, did you like that? Did you like that? Yeah, did you like it though? You want more? Don't want to work? Would rather watch videos of me grab-assing with people? First of all, go up here to subscribe, and then go up here to watch more clips. This is like when the weatherman says there's a high pressure system coming in. I'm not really used to the green screen.